Coming up, how to break the cycle of job rejection. I'm Elizabeth Conley from Inteview Skills Clinic. Now in this video, I want to talk to you about the common cycle of interview rejection, what likely impact it may be having on you, and how to break the cycle and get the job you want. Please subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share the video with friends and family who might be struggling to get a job at the moment. Now, in my experience as a coach, many clients get into a negative cycle of rejection, often coming to interview coaching when they've been rejected from many, if not tens of interviews. Now, this, of course, leaves you feeling really emotionally drained. We all know that applying for jobs is really hard work. It's demotivating, and you may even end up by feeling a little bit depressed and anxious. So how does a cycle of rejection start? Well, in my experience, it often starts just with a simple interview, which just felt pretty rubbish. Maybe it wasn't the ideal role for you. Maybe you just weren't prepared for this particular role, or maybe you had a lot going on at work, or at home, which had an impact on how you went into that interview. Now, naturally, you feel disappointed. You're determined to make sure that it doesn't happen again. You may even spend some time thinking about why it's happened. And as you start to apply for more roles, you start to prepare a little bit more thoroughly. Maybe you spend hours researching the organisation. Maybe you even start thinking about the likely questions and even writing out the likely questions. Your confidence is already beginning to dip. And despite feeling more prepared, the interview doesn't go well. They may ask you different questions to what you planned for, and you find the questions difficult to answer. After a couple more rejections, your confidence is getting lower and lower. You start not just writing out the questions, but you start actually writing out and learning your answers so that you can feel more in control. Now, this is a really natural thing to do. If we think about it, it's the way we have all been taught to succeed at school by preparing more and more for exams. We know the saying, the more you practice, the luckier you get. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't work with interviews. You need to prepare differently and flexibly in a way which suits you, which is going to be very different. What's going to work for you is not necessarily going to work for the next person. But importantly, you need to prepare in a way that allows you to adapt more naturally to different questions and enabling you to be yourself so that you can build rapport in the interview. Now, when I'm working with a client who's in this negative cycle, I start coaching by trying to understand how the cycle of rejection started and how they currently prepare. Importantly, we then start to explore the value that they can bring to the role and which stories substantiate this value. This is something you can work on yourself, or you can book a free consultation to discuss how we can help. I promise you, it really doesn't take long to be successful and get the success you want. But if you're in this cycle of rejection, then it's very important to start working on this so that you get the success you want as quickly as possible.